Hello everyone, this is part number 11. We are going to attempt Act 2, but first let's sell some stuff. Usually it's time to switch the belt. We struggle a little bit with chaos, but this is fixable. We can swap augments here and there. We don't need chaos resistance so badly right now. We can craft sanctified bone as well. Do some swaps. We can transfer the scaled height on the shoulders and craft sanctified bone. It's another option, but I'm gonna do this later on. For now we are okay. As I explained, I keep a couple of rings and stuff for adjustments. This is a nice armor, I'm gonna keep it as well. We have some problems with the elemental resistance, but this is a nice option as well. We're gonna lose a lot of poison, which is kinda bad, especially when actually we can use augment, but these pants give us more offensive stuff than this is pure defensive pants, but I'm gonna keep them just in case. But without further ado, I missed 2 taps. It's very easy to keep rings because they took not so much space. And having a couple of rings that you can adjust your gear is very profitable in a soul self-found runs. So always keep some items for a swap. When you alt level them, just sell them out. For example, I think I already alt leveled these gloves, so I can sooner or later sell them. We're gonna apply corruption. I'm gonna save my distance. This area can be very dangerous when you first approach it, because all of these bandits blast skills on you can be very rippy. I saw a couple of deaths here. Also I lose 1 or 2 characters because I get overconfident. We wanna save Steven Skinner for his ring. Is a nice option if you don't have a good one. It spawns with, I have the elite version, it spawns with life, physical damage, pierce and elemental resistance. This is a pretty good ring. If you struggle with any of those, but honestly at this point you're gonna start find more and more stuff. Another very important thing here, as I like to say, always be friendly with Isaiah Redin. I know the ring that comes after when you kill his daughter, because if you kill him, his daughter come to avenge him. And the ring is quite good because possess a chaos resistance, which is very rare, especially in normal. But I prefer to have him because he sold out most of the ointments and oils, and it's much cheaper to buy from him instead of craft them. There is a corrupted hero, always step aside. Corrupted heroes is one of the most dangerous one because this Aether pool. Praetorian, this is an amazing set. Always keep these pieces because they're gonna drop at this level range, and there is a high chance you acquire the set. This is the best leveling set in hardcore. Doesn't matter what build you play, this set comes with 15 physical resistance. This is huge, especially after the changes, and 35 poison, 35 sorry, ether, 35 chaos. This is a very rare condition set, and it's fixed level 50, but it's an amazing, especially if you play a sword and board build. This set doesn't contain shield, but contain bonuses for a shield. But this set can carry you till very late at the game, basically until level 100. This is a high armor set as well. Here, let's check if we buy all the merits that we need. We have mandate. We forgot to buy mandate for Orders of Death's Vigil. Not big deal. Honestly, I don't need so much stuff from them. Shamblers, always be careful with that, guys. They deal tons of physical damage, especially in a pack. And now is a good time to test the pit. We have maximum stun resistance, so I can try the pit itself. Now in normal, sorry, in ultimate, we hunt reputation. So I'm gonna clear all the caves with basically the hives with bees and stuff. Also, royal jelly is a very important material. You have to start at this point building your reputation and your infamy levels, so you can get extra spawn, more loot during your leveling. And this drastically gonna decrease the time when you have to farm from reputation later on. If you basically clear all the bosses and heroes, that's not so in a side areas, because for example I'm not gonna go in the Black Marsh right now. This is a very side area, And this is gonna be a way much detour for me. Fight these guys on afar. Don't mess with them. Now is ideal moment to say the good news to Morny.
You work here. We have to hit them hard and fast.
At this point, we are pretty much set. We can either get more sustain via increase our damage reduction skill, the woman, or I can finally get maximum damage. I think I'm gonna go for damage. I think my sustain is quite good at the moment. Also, something that I have to do is to fix my devotions for the endgame ones. As I mentioned, I use Matsli final devotion tree from his version of this build. I just level this because usually he did only endgame builds. He doesn't play like me as a soul self-found or something like this. He just usually tests the meta, and he's pretty good at this. So we miss one devotion. Actually, we have to unlock Lantern. So I did a mistake. And now I can retrieve again. This is rocky mistake. I lose 3 crystals because I didn't pay attention. But this is the final build. As I said, credit to Matli for the devotion tree. Probably I'm gonna hunt his endgame gear of choice as well. I just wanna test Panetti by myself, and actually this is an amazing build. I'm not surprised he is so proud of his final achievement. But without further ado, let's going forward. We kinda lost a lot of time, but I have to readjust my devotions for the final version. Markovian stratagem, this is a very good medal to find as a sword and board warlord or tank in general, specializing in physical damage. Of course, this is the baby version, but still a good find. As usual, we're gonna bribe Silas. If you follow the series, you know why. It's easy money, and he's gonna spawn as a hero. Is a chance, but still I prefer to kill him as a hero instead of a white mob. There is no glory killing him when he's basically a trash mob. This quest here for the roll of jellies is a kinda scam. I usually don't do it, it's pretty expensive quest. I prefer to keep this. Also, these receipts, these blueprints, they drop now. This is a terrible spawn. This boss surrounded with all these shamblers and all of them heroes. This is a death sentence. Avoid the boulder. at any cost. Here I'm gonna mark of torment just to nullify a little bit the reflection damage. If I wasn't mark of torment him, I'm gonna suicide myself because my burst damage is pretty high. I crit for around 60k at this point on a very fast casting speed. So here, if you approach the pit, be sure you have at least 60% stun res and all of your cooldowns are on. Apart from reputation, there is nothing useful from these guys. I hope they fix this, because this doesn't scale, it stays level 20. I hope they make it a little bit more useful in the future patches and stuff, because at the moment it's pretty useless metal. At level 20 is okay, but if it doesn't scale, it's pretty much just a trophy. Another very good situational helm that you can use and that you have to keep for sure. Anchorite or whatever headgear. This comes with massive health, defensive ability and chaos resistance and reduced stun duration. This is a very good helm to have around in your inventory, and this is Silas. I have to stop open my inventory when surrounded by enemies. I almost died. My armor is not that bad, but I take way too much damage here. So it's probably advisable to start apply a Lil Woman. Also, this was a very brutal internal trauma damage that I take there. Never underestimate these guys. The Cronley gang. They can wear brutal stuff. And they can easily one-shot you, because they attack in a huge pack sometimes. Always stay on guard. Okay, money box at home. I'm gonna immediately mark of torment, just to reflect part of the damage. And I'm gonna nullify. He's a fire damage user. Also physical, but the most dangerous one is fire. This is an easy totem, it's just spirit totem. So no dangerous spawns, apart from this reflective guy that I have to nullify. And this is very profitable totem. I already saw a very rare relic that usually takes ages, and this is Eye of the Storm. It's not useful for me, but it's one of the best relics in the game for a lighting builds and some cold builds as well. Actually, this is a pretty good gloves. We're gonna lose a little bit of damage, but it's better casting speed, a little bit better, and it's gonna fix my resistance problems. So I'm gonna go for it. Here I'm gonna kill every single of the Ascendant guys. They have a chance to drop the shoulders. Of course I have guaranteed boss, because I make a deal with Direni, and I advise you to do that as well if you play the same build. Also, I can find a good upgrade for my helm, which is actually pretty good at the moment. I'm gonna mark up Torment him, just to reflect partially of the damage. Mage Storm of Ether, it's actually double Ether prefix suffix. As you can see, this gives me 100 Ether damage and very good resistances. This is definitely a swap for me when I reach level 70, of course. This is a sweet find. Got some Fury. He is a soldier. Can dish out a good amount of damage. And this is Nidra Shadow. She is very squishy. She is a Nightblade. Sometimes she pop up this Nightblade annoying ability that make her invulnerable. And you have to wait, but you can nullify her and just kill her. This is not bad as well. Of the boar is I think physical. Yep, physique and spirit, not too bad. If you need these stats, you can keep this as well, but I prefer the damage. Time to deal with Cronley. Just wait for his force field and just nullify him, and you can go full damage. Place Mark of Torment, as I said. Spellbinder is one of the best boss killers in the game, especially during leveling. And my Mark of Torment is just a one pointer. If you get this to better points, like at least 5 or 6, it's gonna be even more damage in your favor. Better cooldown as well, I think. But even 1 point is enough. That's give you a huge advantage against most of the bosses. Also you have mirror. So this is another 3 seconds of basically immortality. Here is a very good source of experience. All of these guys very squishy, but they are champions. And we have another hive, which is also amazing source of experience, a passive experience. Just Grim's Down rewards you more if you're doing quests, but the grind is also not a bad option. Mark of Torment again. She's gonna kill herself. And we are on the way out. Playing Arcanist is all about cooldown management. That's why it's the most hardest class in the game to master, but it's the most rewarding one. Especially if you're a mage type of player that prefers spellcasters over melee and gunners. tanks that the other archetypes usually that comes with ARPGs. Here is good to discover all the map so you can see the totem when you plan your future farmings, because I use this area when I farm my gear. This build honestly is very cheap. He needs mostly crafting gear, which is guaranteed, and also a target farmable set, which is the creek set. I don't care about this quest. I don't need anything from Steps of Torment. Feel free to do it if you want to go there, but for me is a way too much detour. Our Spears of Heavens start to deal very good damage as well. This is no most dread. He's not very dangerous. Just be sure you kill all the healers. There is a treasure room behind him, basically. A couple of chests. Here, a little bit more spirit. Maybe I'm gonna dump a little bit more physique as well. Usually my plan is to use only caster gear, so As I said, stay away from this booth. It's gonna save your life. This is another area that you want to unlock fully. Because there is a guaranteed totem here. And we have to jump to normal to grab our mandate. Because we get honored with Coven. This is a dangerous totem, this is a forsaken one. So it's gonna spawn these gargantuan beasts. And these guys, they hurt a lot. This is Lutra. We don't have silver. I'm not gonna go back craft this. I'm gonna leave it like this. It's not big deal if you have an anxiety when you look at the map and you have this cross here. Feel free to do it. We start to have again energy problems, slightly. Because we start to max out the Panetti's 3. And now we can reset. Jumping to normal, grab our Coven. I highly advise you, when you hit honored with any of the faction, go back. Especially on a self-found run. And buy your mandate. Because when I continue further, I'm gonna kill tons of. I'm gonna check the augments. I'm pretty sure they don't sell anything ether related, but still we can check for a. If I don't have problem with the poison, this is not a bad component. Nothing useful. Now it's time to bring all the quests back.
Well, now that we're not...
Talking to Barnabas. That's gonna properly trigger the next quest.
Come, friend, right to bit.
Next step is this guy over here. This is level 70. Old Arkovia. We are honored with them as well. I think they sell some good stuff. Just this ring is quite low. I already have a better options. I can grab Mogdrogan quest, why not? I plan to heal him anyways, later on when I acquire all the gear. This gonna be two points, yeah. Gonna dump them in physique. And I can continue to my merry way. Here is one of the most dangerous bosses in the campaign. If you make a single mistake, can cost you the character. Also, Mark of Torment here is not gonna help me because he deals massive burst. Not burst, but a single hit damage, like massive slams. And this is Voldrag by himself. Honestly, I lost a couple of characters to him because I get overconfident. But now I have Cluster, I have Step of Mark of Torment, sorry, I have Mirror. Usually I can just go in Immortality mode for a couple of seconds. Be careful with these guys as well, they do the slam attack. This two-phase slam attack as well. Here you want to clear the odds first. Some of them can entraps you. And you don't want to get entrapped with Voldrag. Avoid this. And just maintain distance. You don't want to get hit. Especially with this one. He is very slow, so it's not gonna be a hard task to kill him, especially on a range build. But sometimes he can hit for a... This is Superior of Tormented Souls, this is a terrible drop, so he's not gonna deal so much damage. But I have a case that he hits me for a 16k, and thankfully I have 17k life, which is very rare on a solo self-found runs. And when I check his weapon was double physical, barbaric of Oleron's Wrath, so triple rare, Voldrag Crusher, and was really painful when he hits me for that amount of damage. My heart stopped for a second. Seeing all your life bar depletes and just stick to a threat at the very end is very terrible experience in hardcore. And this is just from a single hit because I make a mistake and I didn't reposition in time. Ecrix, if you need his medal, just don't click on the corpse, as I explained to you several times, and you're gonna have mark on the map with his location. It's much easier later on. And this medal is actually a pretty good one if you play either Warward, Retaliation Warder, or anything that relates to any of these builds. This is an amazing medal for a tank class. But of course best is on a soldier. And ideally the perfect combination for this medal is Warward, because you're gonna benefit from the resilience buff and the overguard buff. Usually I use this medal when I level retaliation warwards. This is actually triple rare. Let's check. Casting speed, elemental damage, chaos resistance. I'm gonna keep this armor. For future adjustments. It's a pretty good roll on everything. This is a reflective guy. I have to nullify myself and open with Mark of Torment. If you take way too much damage, probably there is a reflective mob at the pack. So immediately reposition and nullify yourself. Preserving of readiness. This is actually an amazing drop. Maybe it's gonna worth swap again to Flesh Warp Cask for a damage and sustain over this.
So how do good work?
We reach Homestead. Check our friend, maybe he sells some good stuff. We're gonna keep this. This is for sale, this is for sale. We reach 70, so we can look for upgrades. We have a couple of interesting pieces. Especially Mage Storm shoulder guards. Light Bearer's Ring. It's not too bad actually, but the suffix is a trash. Let's see what we lose. Tons of elemental resistance. Ether. I am not ready for the swap. This helm is quite good. I'm gonna keep it. Let's check our armor SWOT. We lose chaos. I'm not ready at this moment to lose chaos resistance.
Put it to good use.
Let's sell all the stuff that we don't need.
Iron well spent.
More damage.
I wasn't sure. I'm going to.
Come see what's left of my wares. Put it to good use.
Let's transfer some stuff to open some space. And probably I'm gonna end up
The Legion is split on
the episode here. The next episode is gonna be big. We're gonna farm better offhand. At this point I can transfer half of the scraps. When you play hardcore, made this as your habit. Constantly transfer stuff that very pricey to your shared stash. So in case you lose your character, at least you lose just the gear, not the inventory as well.
I'll hold on to that.
But this is everything from me. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.